Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and especially as I'm inching towards retirement from my full-time job down at UVM. And when we were talking about the position, I'm very interested in grant writing. It's something that I've done for a good part of my career and have been fairly successful at it. I really wasn't looking for a position that was 20 hours a week at a desk in an office at this point in my life. And what I was going to come offer to the select board was if they were interested in some kind of a ad hoc kind of position for the foreseeable future. I've been eligible for retirement now since May of 19. I'll find out Wednesday if I'm going to be one of those people that are going to be cut at UVM. But I'd be interested in coming up with an arrangement to work at a less than 20-hour-a-week position. That was my biggest concern at this time.
How many hours do they presently put into this on average?
Between 10 and 20.
Yeah. See, we're flexible.
It ranges.
We're flexible, Pat.
Yeah, well, I assumed that this was somebody that was like, here 20 hours a week, supplementing the staff and that sort of thing. So is that?
So this person did most of their work remotely.
Okay.
Yeah.
This person was also a zoning administrator, so they did have an office, but most of their grant work was done remotely.
Okay. And it serves a couple of different organizations?
Correct. So the town through the select board,
Mm-hmm.
the library, the community center, and the Fairfield Center School.
The school other than the school district?
Correct.
Yeah, just the local.
Right, just the local school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many grants a year is it, roughly?
I don't know how, I know for the town it's less than 5, but I'm not sure all of the other ones, probably 1 or 2, maybe 3 a year.
So it goes through various periods of hours per week. Some
Correct.
grants do 10 hours a week, grants are just looking for grants or such, it might
Correct.
be an hour or less.
Yep, and then, attending or reading their minutes so you can keep track of, do they show a particular interest in a category that, you can pair a grant to.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I attended the community center meeting and they have 4 or 5 they're looking to apply to, so they're ready and anxious to get some applications in.
Yeah, well, if it's as flexible as you say, I would be more interested at this point in my life. I was a little concerned about the wages also. That's probably what I got paid in 1990 when I started.
Well, let's see if you can prove worth that, and then we'll talk. It's what we had, it's what's been in the past.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not us set in stone. I guess a lot depends how many grants you get.
Yeah, and I know sometimes, depending on the granting agency and the particular type of grant, you basically write your grant writing costs into it.
Yeah.
So that'd be another possibility.
Yeah.
So, but being I charge $100,000 an hour, I'd only have to win one, and then I'd write for free for like 5 years.
It's like the guy selling chainsaw on the window said $1 million. And I looked at him and said, "You nuts? It's just all I gotta do is sell one." A little similar theory.
Yeah, okay. So, do we have to be more formal than this? How do
Are the
we
other two
proceed with
listening?
this?
Gene is listening.
Yeah. So do you guys want to accept Mr. Malone as a new grant writer?
Yeah, absolutely. He's interested, and if you get after it and things turn out well,
We can work together.
we'll talk about it as we go. Take a look, see how much time you're putting into it, make sure it fits your schedule.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be a good fit.
Gene?
Gene says yes.
Okay.
I thought he'd fallen asleep in there.
Jonathan did say I was one of several hundred applicants being
Oh, yeah.
considered, so,
Well, as soon as we saw you, we just put the rest in the round file.
okay, so I come back and
Yes,
visit
come
with
back
you
and
and
we'll
work
fill
out the
out
details?
some paperwork to get started, and we'll go from there.
You don't have any questions for me? If I've ever
We know where you live.
I told him.
if I've ever been in the can for embezzlement of grant funds or anything?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably not a joke on public access TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like I told you, Jonathan, I'm finishing up some work with the state's EMS Education Council, and that should be done, the thick part, in a couple weeks, so, maybe I'll come visit, right after Easter, and we'll come up with a plan,
Sounds great.
yeah.
Well, thank you for accepting, and let's hope it goes forward well.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I could hopefully do something for you folks in our town, so.
Hang on, Julie Wolcott has a question. Julie?
Yeah, just a sec. I'm just wondering if we will still be having a committee that will work with Patrick, with representatives from every organization.
That's how it's been done in the past, right?
Yes.
That was our plan, Julie.
Okay, great.
So
Thank
once Pat comes on board, we'll have him, reach out to the members that were at the last meeting and try to get that committee going again. I know it's been, normally they meet quarterly,
Yep.
and it's been probably a year since they've met, just due to COVID.
Yep.
But it'd be really great to get that committee back up and running.
And that's a representative from those
Correct.
three organizations?
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
yeah, that's a great way to do it, get a lot of input. Yeah, I look forward to working with you, Julie.
Well, hopefully it works out for everybody.
Gene looks like he's typing.
So,
I guess on that note, we've got Patrick there. Can you hear me, Jonathan?
Yes, everyone can, yeah.
We've got Patrick there, and as we're getting started, one of the things I'd like to see is his face every now and then.
You mean at a meeting?
I don't care if we make it, bi-monthly or quarterly or what, but it'd be nice to get some feedback, if you come to a meeting, spend 10 minutes, just giving us an idea where you're at.
Yeah.
So we're a little
Yeah,
closer
just
connected.
10
than we have
to,
been in the past.
10 minutes to see what's
what's going on?
Sure.
What progress
Sure.
you've made or haven't been able to make.
Yep, yep,
Something of that
No,
nature.
thanks, Dave. That's really good insight.
yeah, that's easy.
Well, good.
Gene, anything from you? Here, let me try to unmute you here. You push *6 to unmute. Hey,
Have any big questions for him? Sounds good to me. I think meeting more would be good.
Looks like we're good to go then.
okay. Thank you, Gene.
Well, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of this informative meeting.
Well, I have a sugar bush too, and those 66 buckets aren't gonna empty themselves, so.
Okay, well, it seems like this pipeline, I got about 5,000 in pipeline. You think you get one side done and everything's going well, you go down to the other place and it was perfect, and all of a sudden that thing's lost tracking, you find the tap off here or a chipmunk right there. Go back to one you thought was doing well, that one's down, so you start over again. It's a daily experience.
Yeah.
Well, good enough, thank you very much.
Well,
for
good,
applying.
thank you.
Good.
Nice to
Glad
see you. Good luck with
Always
your
welcome.
sugaring. I'll
We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you.
The Monday after, that's the 5th.
Monday after Easter, you said?
Yeah, I'll pop in or I'll call you if you need me to set up a time
Okay,
and we'll talk about the details.
that sounds great.
Okay,
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
thank you very
Have a
much.
good night.
Have a good night. Nice talking to you.
I think Mo's not coming.
I haven't heard either way.
So who's next, who's this gentleman?
Chris Lynch with Matrix Design Group. I mean,
Sure, come on up.
stand and deliver.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
Yes.
can you prop your phone up a little bit, just so I can hear better?
Let me know if that
Yeah,
works.
come sit, grab one of the chairs right here somewhere.
Okay. Sit. I wanted to come up and introduce myself and also the company.
You're probably not familiar with Matrix Design Group, because if you're not in the fiber industry, you're probably not familiar with us. We've been in business designing and building fiber networks for over 26 years now. We helped the VTA build their middle mile network. We helped EC Fiber build the first 9 towns of their cooperative. We not only designed it, built it, and operated, we're also one of the 3 large investors with EC Fiber. We are currently doing a feasibility study for the Northwest CUD on behalf of the NRPC through a broadband innovation grant through the Department of Public Services. We are also on the special town meeting vote for the town of Alberg on May 11th. We've offered to design, build, and operate a fiber to the home network at our expense. The town would be responsible for providing the right of way on the utility poles and a place to house and power the network electronics. In Alberg, that cost was just under about $900,000 estimated. However, since that came out, the Vermont Electric Cooperative has graciously offered a $2,000 stipend for every home that is considered unserved by both VEC and by the Department of Public Services. So that is about $500,000 worth of funds to the town of Alberg. We wanted to get in front of you guys, because at some point we were going to talk about offering you guys the same type of opportunity that we're doing in Alberg. The reason we're kind of jumping the gun before the feasibility study is done is because the VEC funds, those $2,000 per unserved home, it's a first come, first served basis. So we figured that the sooner we start a discussion, the better, to see if this is something that the town and the townsfolk would be interested in. All right. So the numbers that we have are still a little bit squishy, you know, because we're still doing the feasibility study. But if you look at the Department of Public Services, they say that the town has 994 buildings. You know, and a building could be a barn, so that's different than somebody at home taking service. However, there's a difference between a building and a subscriber, because one building could have multiple subscribers. You could have somebody who has an apartment. You could have somebody who has a home business that they want to keep separate. There's a number of different reasons. Normally, when we look to partner with a community, we look for 3 things. The first thing is we're not looking to overbuild an existing cable operator, which, you know, in Fairfield, you guys don't have cable. We look for communities that have at least 500 homes, because that's what it takes to support a local technician. We want to make sure that there's at least one local technician, because we live in New England, and there's ice storms, there's high wind, whatever. Branch comes down, cuts the fiber, we need somebody there local to fix it. So well over 500. And also we look for a density of about 10.5 homes per mile. That's a little bit close, because the VTrans says the town has about 104 miles of road. However, normal engineering, we can usually find 10% in efficiencies, which bring you down around to 90 miles of road. And driving around, there's more efficiencies to be had. So we're not too worried about the 10 homes per mile. And the reason it's 10 homes per mile is you offer the service, and not everybody's going to want to take the service. You know, so we want to make sure that just the people who want it take it. We also try to position this so that it doesn't affect taxes in any way. For example, in Alberg, if they decide to move forward, the VETA loan that they'd be applying for, or a municipal lease that they'd be applying for, could be repaid through the subscriber fees. So we'd add $5 or $10, whatever happens to be, the town sets it, and then we collect the funds and we give it back to the town treasurer, they pay off the loan. So, like I said, I wanted to introduce myself tonight. We're still in the middle of the NRPC Northwest CUD feasibility study, but because of the first come, first served nature of the VEC funds, we want to make sure that we started this conversation now. And of course, you know, with COVID, broadband has become like the front and center for everybody, because, you know, you have to do Zoom meetings. I'm sure you've seen Zoom meetings where people can only call in and not do the video, only do the sound, because they don't have enough bandwidth.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah,
are
I'm
the
having that problem right now.
Yeah.
My baby is on there and I can't get it.
Yeah, so we recognize that. What we do is we also offer really high speeds. So it's a minimum of 100 megabits up and down symmetrical. We have another tier of 200. So it's something that we basically build completely fiber to the home and future-proof it for, you know, so you don't have to worry about it ever again.
So you run kind of concurrent down the power lines, is that how you?
Yeah, we follow the utility poles,
Yeah.
and it's 100% area, because we don't know if there's any underground facilities. There's no way to know if there's room in the facilities. There's no way to know if the facilities are still good, because again, we live in New England. Most of those conduits are plastic. Over the years, it freezes, thaws, they break. Stuff gets into the conduits, so it's all aerial. And we'll try to follow, you know, try to minimize the number of poles, because the amount of make-ready is really dependent upon the number of poles that are in the plans. But like I said, we've been doing this for 26 years. It's all that we do.
No, I know, excuse me, like Green Mountain Power, they're putting all poles right side of the road now.
Yeah.
You know, get a whole pile going on 36 and down through here.
Well, I should also mention that Green Mountain Power also stepped forward and said that they're willing to do a $2,000 subsidy for any home that's considered unserved. And according to VEC's list that we have, there's 248 homes that would qualify in Fairfield.
So what makes a home qualify? Like, we get, I think it's Verizon, but it's so slow, you can barely use it.
What they normally will say is it has to have less than 4 megabits download and 1 megabit up.
Because I think we're 3 or something.
I think, but the problem is they go by like whatever the incumbent telephone company will say. Say, no, that house can get 25 megabits.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden that house, even though it can't get that speed, you know, is knocked off as, you know, qualified. You know, whereas the unqualified people, where they can't have any argument. But even at 248, that's almost $500,000. So it's not an insignificant number, and that is not including any, you know, grants that the state may have through the Connect. The
So if you get real poor
service,
service, you're gonna have to fight with them together, is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry?
If you get service, but it's poor service, you're gonna have to fight to get included on your deal?
No, we look at a town as a whole. So if we come in and say we're gonna build to the town, the reason we ask the town to give us the right of way is because now the town becomes our partner and says, okay, we're gonna build here. You know, here's all the places we're gonna build, but we're not gonna build to this house because their utilities actually come in from a neighboring town. And for us to get there, it's gonna be like an extra mile or two.
Okay.
So we leave those decisions to you, you know, because the make-ready is not inexpensive, and there are costs associated with it. But we work as a partner to say, okay, where are we gonna, you know, who are we gonna feed, what, you know, how are we gonna get there?
Yeah. Okay. Well, appreciate you coming, kind of pre-getting us set up.
Like I said, once we have more information, we'll give you a more formal presentation and a more formal offer. But then, you know, let the townspeople decide.
And this is basically all through that thing we signed up with Northwest Regional Planning.
That's what got it started, yeah, so we do
Yeah.
have a representative on that board.
Yeah, and we have been working very closely with the Department of Public Services. So we have good relationships there. I should also mention too that we're also doing a 4-town expansion for Burlington Telecom. So we're very involved with the state. But because we're an engineering company, most people don't know who we are.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming, and
Yeah, we
give us
appreciate
an
it.
idea where we're headed.
And you have my contact information if you need anything.
Okay.
I hand out cards, but now with COVID, people said that, you know. Well,
We have
again,
a second shot already, so
Yeah.
excellent.
5 more days.
Well, thank
And
you,
go,
Chris.
and go to Texas without a mask.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody have a good night.
Well, thank you for coming up. Take care. Okay, well, Jonathan, I guess you're next on the list.
Do we want to do approval of minutes?
Yeah, do these guys got them?
David, you had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yep, I looked at the ones Melissa sent, I was okay with them.
Okay. Gene, any questions, comments? Gene said so moved on the minutes.
Okay, so I guess
made that motion.
if we're all in favor of the minutes as presented,
With no changes?
I don't know about better quality.
If everyone is, then we'll just, they are passed.
Here, look,
Uh-huh.
but in the flash, look at him.
So cute.
Isn't he? Oh my God. Is that thing on the camera?
It's not on.
It's not on.
I can put it on.
Turn it on.
We don't have we don't have, bandwidth enough.
Look, everyone.
Oh, congratulations, Melissa.
Thank you. This is live from South Korea right now.
So do we want to go
Isn't he
to
fabulous?
the community center grant public hearing next?
yep, sure.
There's folks on there.
Emily, Julie Wilcott's on here. She's seeing paddle.
Hey, Emily. Good going.
Yeah. Fabulous. Better than a cap. Better than a cap, she says.
All right, Emily, well, it's all yours.
For the community center?
Yes. Yep.
Great. So yeah, as we mentioned at the last meeting that we might have to come back for a budget change. So there has been some changes to the budget. It's now $82,000. That's still 100% VCDP funds, 0% local match. So no match. And there's also a formal resolution. Jonathan, I don't know if you were able to distribute it to the select board members in advance.
No, but I do have a copy here.
Okay, good. You can show it on there. I can also pull it up for folks. I might not be able to, you might have to do it on screen share. But essentially it says that the town is willing, has a municipal plan, wants to apply for the grant, and that also the Regional Planning Commission is that the project is consistent with the regional plan and the local plan. From the Regional Planning Commission's project perspective, we have no issue with it being, and I know that you signed already the local plan letter. So that is one thing. And then the other thing would be just for the select board to be aware and authorize Jonathan to fill out some forms that are required from the state that essentially just state what money the town has received so far in COVID relief, so FEMA funds and that type of thing. And that's a duplication of benefit forms. The state's just trying to make sure they aren't paying for the same thing twice, which is not a problem with this project. Those are the two sort of form things. Is really just administrative for that same project that I talked about last time for the Fairfield Community Center Pavilion through VCDP CARES Act funding.
So one grant is to do work on the community center and the other one, this one is to do some type of pavilion.
The same grant.
Oh, same grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same grant that I presented on 2 weeks ago for the pavilion, outdoor pavilion space for the community center. So it'll be outdoor for their senior meals and their youth activities. And we're applying through that VCDP program that with coronavirus has no match or anything like that.
So what do we need here, John? We've already, didn't we approve this?
Emily, what do you just need them to sign it, correct?
Sign the resolution form and just authorize Jonathan to fill out the paperwork for the duplication of benefit forms.
Okay.
You gentlemen still in favor of pursuing this?
Dave, you heard that?
Yeah, I'm good with that for the community center. It's the same thing we've been talking about, right?
Yep.
It is, yep.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% behind that.
What about Gene? Can you wake him up?
Gene? Star 6 to unmute.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good.
You're good with it? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just need folks to come down to the office when you get a minute to sign it.
Yep. I'll make the trip in tomorrow.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah, too bad you couldn't make it this evening, Dave.
And if you just have a motion on the minutes, that would be good. So we can submit that to VCDP.
You need a motion on the minutes for the
To
board?
sign the resolution, yeah.
Okay, well, Dave, can you make that?
I will make that motion.
Yep, to resolve for the minutes. Gene, will you second that?
Second.
Okay, anyone opposed? If not, all in favor? Okay, that one done. Okay. Okey-doke. Well, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you, Emily.
Bye.
Okay,
So my report, these are 2 letters that I received to be directed to the board. That first one, we probably should talk about that in executive session.
okay.
And then the second one, Gavin, I think is really your choice, how you want to handle that one.
Yeah, both these look like we should do them.
Yeah.
They're personnel,
Yeah.
they're individuals.
Yep. So then the only other thing I had was the TA 60 form, it's the annual V-Trans highway expense form. So it just shows how many miles of different class road we have, class 1, 2, and 3. The state gives every town a certain dollar amount for each mile of class road you have. And then you just have to show how you're making up the difference in your taxes. So this is our budget broken down between winter maintenance and non-winter maintenance. And then you subtract out what the state is gonna give you. The rest is to be made in taxes, which that's what our budget shows.
So do we need a motion to
So we
approve?
can look at it.
Say that?
Do you have it put together so we can look at it?
It is all-
Or that something you're-
It is 100% completed, yep, it just needs to be looked at and signed.
So do you want to approve this thing, or do you guys want to wait till you look it over and sign it?
Do we, does it need to be conditionally approved?
No, I think in mid-April is when it's due, so as long as we tackle it the first meeting in April, we should be okay.
No,
Okay, let's go that way.
Okay.
we'll wait on that one.
Sounds
Give all
good.
your stuff back so you don't lose it. Oh, let's see.
So the only other thing is those 2 letters you have, Gavin, and the warrants.
The warrants. Do you, if 2 of them sign them, we can approve them the next meeting, right?
That's correct.
So, you guys come in and sign those other things?
Yeah,
So why don't we wait on signing these till you get a chance to really look at them?
yeah, I just say review it.
And if you guys will tell Jonathan you're coming in, and you can sign them, and then they can be, what is it you actually do?
Send checks out.
Right, but I mean, there's a way you ratify them at the next one, right?
Yep. Do you want to review them, Gavin, or?
I'll take a quick look at them, but I just
Okay.
want to make sure somebody else is going to be in here to sign them, so that they're
Okay.
right.
So TA 60 to the next meeting.
And Sugar Maker's throwing this whole thing off.
Yeah.
Hey, I missed one all year, I've done well.
Oh, yeah, you're good. We're fortunate to have you, Dave.
Yeah.
So, if that's on everything for the meeting, and we're going to go into executive session.
Right, we got 2 letters that we need to do in executive.
So that's, Gene made that motion to go into executive session.
I'll second that.
Okay.
So that's Dave at 7:39 PM. Okay.